Hey, this is Pastor David Youth, and I want to talk to you for just a moment about something I'm really excited about. It's coming up in a couple of weeks. We're going to start a study, a verse-by-verse study of a book in the New Testament called Colossians. Now, Colossians was written to a place called Colossae, and it was written while Paul was in prison in Rome, and he heard about problems in the church. And the problem that he heard about is that somehow this philosophy, these traditions had come in that were taking away from the preeminence of Jesus. In other words, it was Jesus plus something. And when Paul heard that, oh my, he didn't want anything to do with that, and he wanted them to know that that was not the gospel that he had shared with them. So when you read the book of Colossians, it's a great book to help you understand that Jesus is not only preeminent, he is sufficient. In him dwells the fullness of the Godhead. So in other words, you got everything you could ever want in him. And in a relationship with Jesus, you find everything. And so the whole book lays out in a form that's really amazing to me. It has these elements of how the gospel changes our relationships. There's stuff about husbands and wives, things about employers, things even about slaves and masters. And there's things about how we're to treat one another in the church. It talks about singing God's word to one another and encouraging one another. So there's a lot of different things in the book that really tell us what it ought to look like when he is everything that we need. So much more is a great way to describe this. Because I know a lot of people think that being a Christian or following Jesus is just believing in a set of beliefs or like a code of ethics or maybe even a doctrinal statement. But you got to know he is so much more than just doctrine, than just statements or belief. It's a relationship. In fact, one place in Colossians, Paul says, just as you received Christ, walk in him. Meaning, you received him out of grace. So you ought to live every day in that way. And that's a beautiful picture of freedom. It's a beautiful picture of fulfillment. And it's just a way of saying that Jesus should be preeminent. The way I like to say it is that Jesus is enough. You can improve on Jesus. The call to follow Christ is a call to follow everything you will ever want. And so I hope that you'll join us for the study, and I hope it's going to be one of those things that you'll find phrases and you'll find words and verses that really change the way you see him and change the way you live for him. It's going to be a great time. I hope you'll be a part of it.